Hello, welcome to Bob's Dungeon. My name's Bob, I'll be your host. When I was a kid growing up in the 80s, there was a cartoon called Robotech. And Robotech was pretty much unlike any other cartoon that we had back then. And it had a lot of drama to it. All the episodes were self-contained, and yet at the same time, they flowed together into each other to make a bigger story, which is something that really wasn't done a lot back then. And it had excitement and adventure in it. And best of all, it had big mechs beating the snot out of each other. Well, anyway, we didn't have a lot of anime to choose from back then. And Robotech was just fresh and new to us. Nowadays, most of you can look up any anime you want and watch it. But Robotech was kind of most of what we had back then. And eventually, Palladium Games bought the rights to it and made a role-playing game of it. And in this video, we're going to talk about two of the books for that role-playing game. We're going to start by looking at the RDF Advanced Training Program. This book has 56 pages and was in a copyright of 1989. This is the second printing of the book. It was published by Palladium Games, and all of the artwork in this book is in black and white. And it's pretty decent. So let's go ahead and look at that artwork. This is the first picture we see when we open the book. All of the artwork in this book is in black and white. And it's pretty decent artwork as well. Overall, it does a good job of giving you that Robotech feel for the book. To play this game, what you're going to need is, of course, a copy of this book and a copy of the core rule book for the Robotech Role-Playing Game. You'll also need a full set of dice. A full set of dice containing a 20-sided die, a 12-sided die, preferably two 10-sided dice for rolling both percentiles and tens, an 8-sided die, a 6-sided die, and a 4-sided die. This book, we're not going to go over the actual rules of the role-playing game or character creation. That I covered in my video for the Robotech role-playing game. But we're just going to kind of focus on this book. This book has a lot of neat stuff in it. And basically, it's set up so you can send your characters on a training program, whether they are existing characters that you've already been running in games or brand new characters that you've made up. And there's different types of training programs that they can go through in this game. And it has a lot of interesting things that you can add to your game, such as a demerit system. And if your characters do things, it has a chart, and they do certain things, they earn so many demerit points. And for every 7 demerit points that they gain, they have to do 2 more exercises in order to pass the advanced program. However, if they get all the way up to 35 demotion points, then they are kicked out of the program. So you'll want to watch that. It has the experience chart again in this book, but since it's all simulated in this book and you're not really in danger, you don't really take damage, it has a lower amount of experience points that you get for the same things as if you were in a regular adventure. And I don't know if I'd really use that or not, but it is kind of neat and worth thinking about. It also has some experience penalties. So if you really mess up while you're going, you can earn negative experience points that'll deduct from the experience points that you'd earn in the adventure. So that's kind of neat. It's got a segment in here on NPCs and several charts for different types of NPCs that you would run into in the scenarios. Civilians, different types of soldiers, and so forth. And gives you a way to come up with them. It's even got some blank sheets for you to create your own charts of NPCs to make up random NPCs. And it's got a blank NPC character sheet in here too, if you want to photocopy and use that. It's even got a scorecard so that the guy that's giving you your tests, you can pretend you're him and mark just how well they're doing on the tests. And the tests are set up to be like for individual, but the whole thing is made to play as a group. And everybody gets a chance to shine. So that's pretty cool. It just gives you a different aspects so you can get a more military feel to your game if you want, as far as training goes. It's got lots of scenarios in here and maps and so forth. So you're pretty well covered on everything. But for this book, it brings me to 3 questions. Would I play a character using this book? And yeah, the scenarios in here are pretty cool. And it's kind of neat. It would be kind of neat to play a character that's actually going through some kind of training. Would I run a game using this book? And I'm going to say yeah. Like I said, there's some pretty neat scenarios in here, and a lot of charts for making up your own scenarios. So it could be very useful. Would I recommend this book? And yeah, it'd give you something different. Instead of just having the normal onslaught of battle after battle, they can be training sessions, and this book can help you with that. So let's move on. The next book we're going to talk about is an adventure for Robotech. It's called Ghost Ship. This book has 48 pages and a copyright of 1998. And this is the 3rd publishing of this book. This is the first picture we see when we open this book. Again, all of the artwork in this book is in black and white. And it's pretty decent as well, just like the other book. And it sets a proper tone and mood for the adventure in this game. I'm not going to go into a lot of details on this one because it is an adventure, and if somehow you find yourself going to play this adventure, I don't want to spoil too much of it for you. So I'm going to leave a lot out, but I'm going to go over the basics so you know kind of what this is. And basically the setup for it is after the big initial space battle with the Zentradi when they attacked Earth, there is a lot of debris and busted up equipment and ships and just garbage all over the Earth, all around the Earth. And after a while, they fall back into Earth and burn up, and eventually things clear up some. But while it's there, this adventure takes place, and you can use it as a one-shot or spread it out on a larger campaign. But anyway, in this debris, there are bandits hiding out and rogues Zentradi hiding out as well. So you can run adventures where you're going after them. But at some point, a spot clears up and a Zentradi warship comes out. And it's just sitting there. It's not powered up. And your group is sourced to go out there and find out what's going on, make sure it's not a threat. And when you go out to the ship, you find out that there's more going on there than to be expected, and you wind up having to save the Earth from the machinations of the Zentradi, rogue Zentradi that are still on this ship and operating to take out the humans. And that's all I'm going to cover on it because I don't want to spoil everything. But that's the basic outline for it. And it gives you some neat tidbits for the game. It gives you some alternates for the different mecha, so you can use some experimental types. It also has a little blurb here on the Zentradi alphabet, so you can actually write things out in Zentradi if you want, which is kind of nifty. And that's pretty much it. It's got some random scenarios you can roll up for while you're out there, and then the main adventure, which takes place on the Zentradi battle cruiser. And it brings me to 3 questions about this book. Would I run a character playing in this adventure? And yes, I would. It's pretty neat. I kind of like the idea of there being a no man's land out there with all this debris that you're trying to find the bandits in or what have you. So yeah, I'm kind of interested in that. Would I run this scenario in a Robotech game? And yeah, I would. I kind of like the ideas in it. And would I recommend this book? And yeah, I'll recommend it. If you're running Palladium's Robotech game, this will give you some really good ideas of things you can do that are a little bit different instead of just the regular stuff that you would normally run in a Robotech game. So, anyway, thank you for joining me at a look at this game, at these two books, and hopefully you'll join me next time where we'll talk about something else. Bye.